So without any further ado, I will hand over to the ambassador, and thank you very much again for joining us, and I'll hand over to you now.
When I talk about annexation and try to explain what is annexation, annexation refers to the forcible acquisition of territory by a state. Let me go when the first, annexation started to be in the forefront these days. And I go back to the election campaign of Netanyahu. During his election campaign, Netanyahu promised his electorates to annex Jordan Valley and the settlements in the West Bank, saying that we are here to stay forever. Over the past 4 years, Israel increased the constructions of settlements, units, and related infrastructure in the occupied Palestinian territories. The initial plan following the coalition agreement deal in Israel in March 2020 includes commitment of the coalition government to annex 30% of the West Bank. Annexation, or as the Israeli occupation, which continuously twists reality. We're coming back to the main issue, and I say in a loud voice that it's not me, it's the international law who's saying that annexation is illegal and ends the two-state solution, legalize apartheid, and has to be stopped. In order to combat Israeli annexation plans, the international community should shift from rhetoric to active and effective policies. In essence, these policies should include political and economic sanctions and repercussions that will deter Israel's right-wing government from taking additional illegal and drastic measures. Additionally, the official recognition of the State of Palestine, both collectively and individually by European countries, would not only deliver a robust message to the United States and Israel, but would also affirm that annexation is illegal and cannot be ignored. Without any concrete actions from the international community, we cannot only expect the death of the two-state solution, but also the fueling of further conflict.
Places like Palestine or Kashmir or anywhere which is disputed or conflicted, after a certain point of time, after many years pass, people get tired and exhausted. They want to live a normal life. They don't want violence and everything. So how do you keep their spirits up, and how do we, how do they keep themselves motivated to resist and to struggle against the occupation?
Oh, it's a very clever question. We always say about Palestinian, we are resilient. We pass through difficult times, and we are really, our young people, I don't want to say that they feel despair, but the international situation, the situation internationally, healthy and politically, is not encouraging these days. We do believe in our rights, and we do believe and dream of our own state. And the Palestinians, for so many years, they never think that anything could hinder their beliefs. We passed, as I say, through up and downs, but still, we are there with our oppressor. We're living in the same place. Even if you want to forget one day, or just to say that I'm tired, he will bring you, knock the door and wake you up. Yes, the suffering of the Palestinians from the Israelis, from the settlements, the violence of the settlers. Like these days, it's the season for olive cultivation, and it's the season that all the families come together. It's a way how they celebrate this strategic product or produce of Palestine. It's a season that everybody taking part of this cultivations. The settlers brought this season into hell to the Palestinians. In the last few weeks, more than 300 trees were, olive trees, they vandalized. they burn, they steal the crops after they collect the Palestinian farms, they collected. So every time you think that I want to live, you find someone oppressed you and say, wake up, I'm there. You cannot be rest, you cannot be relaxed, you cannot be like, go to sleep without think of that you are under threat of those settlers to come and burn you. We had people who were burned alive. So, I mean, even if you think all the Palestinian parents, I'm a parent, I have children, I want my children to live in peace. But every day, as my family still live in Palestine and my parents still live in Palestine, every day we think that maybe one day the day will come for the Palestinians to have their rights, to have their Palestinian states. And we dreams for our children. We still sing songs. We still play music. We still go and exercise and do horse riding. We still have. So we live both lives. I mean, the struggle, and we struggle in life. We struggle in art. We struggle in our culture. We struggle with our olive tree and olive oil. I mean, we bring olive oil, the Palestinian olive oil, here to Ireland, to let all the people taste how it is delicious, how it is different. So it's the belief. How do you believe in your own cause? How do you believe in your rights? And teach your children how to love this land, how to protect your land, and how to teach your children that yes, we want peace, but as well we want our rights. We cannot give up our rights.
I just had one very brief question. Just, are you optimistic that public pressure within the United States by American citizens, given the big American role in the United Nations, could eventually force the United States government to treat the Palestinian cause more fairly?
You know that we have many people from the Democratic Party in the United States who believe in the rights of the Palestinians, who support the rights of the Palestinians. I mean, as I said, Barack Obama, he was the president from the Democratic Party of the United States, and I'm sure that hundreds of the Americans they do believe in that. Barack Obama works and he didn't vote against this resolution that's saying the settlements are illegal. So when there is a will, there is a way. I do believe with the human beings all over the world, when they see how the Palestinian people are oppressed by the Israelis, and we can bring the real suffering to the United States people, they listen and they believe and they work. As I said, there are increase in the voices against the oppression, against injustice in the world. And I'm sure that while we're working with the international community, and we're working as well in the United States, they close our embassy in our mission in Washington when Trump was the president of, elected to be the president of the United States. The role that our mission in the United States played among the Palestinian community and the Arab community was great at that time. We continue to work with our people and our supporters in the United States, and we coordinate the work with the Democrats. We coordinate with many of the Arabs and Palestinians who are becoming prominent in the Democratic Party in the United States, and work very hard to be members of the Congress. And we have like several names who represent the Arab voices in the parliament. We have Ilhan Omar, we have Rashida Tlaib, and I hear today that one of our Palestinian people who raised up in the United States. He will become. We hope that he will become a member of the Congress very soon. So we continue coordinate our work with the people, and this is a matter, as I said before to Roman, it's a matter of coordination, working and encouraging people even to come to Palestine to see on the ground what's going on. Many of the Irish people here, whenever, like, you know, they go to Palestine, they know what's going on the ground. They see by their eyes what's really going on. They change mind, or they become even more influential. I mean, when it comes to support the Palestinian cause in the international platforms. So we will continue work with the American people. You cannot convince everyone, but as long as you try, as long as you work and do the best of what you feel and what you believe in, one day you will get there.